Hey there ARK players, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today we're finally covering one of the most popular topics in the ARK community right now, which is what is going on with the TLC creature update for ARK Survival Ascended. So obviously I went back in time and I went and dove into the information, and I actually spotted something which I don't think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, that Studio Wildcard actually did in the end, which maybe they've decided to just go completely with their own ideas. I can't actually remember, but take yourself back to November 2025, where I ended up doing the Hot Ones challenge and had a terrible stomach for the next 5 days. I'm definitely not going to go into details of why my stomach, well, you guys know why it was bad, but anyway, no more details need to go into that. But obviously we raised over $200,000 for Extra Life, which was amazing, and that meant we unlocked 5 creature TLC updates. And obviously the community is quite concerned at this moment in time because we're nearly 8 months into the year and we've only seen one of them, which is the Araneo TLC spider, and they're all meant to be coming in 2026. Can Studio Wildcard pull this off still? I hope so. We're going to be diving into that. We do know what's coming next though, the Therizinosaurus. We did get a reveal. It's been nearly 2 months since we got the reveal of the next creature, the Therizinosaurus. But we're going to dive into everything because there's so much information that I forgot about and I don't think Wildcard ended up doing, which we're going to be talking about. So yes, drop a like, subscribe, and let's dive into this. So yes, we're thrilled to share the community has raised over 200,000 and the Megalosaurus steps up for the 5th and final TLC pass. The ARK community has now raised over $200,000 for Extra Life, our highest total ever. With that milestone reached, the 5th and final TLC creature officially locked in is the Megalosaurus. Now, I think a lot of ARK players are concerned right now because I've been doing a lot of, new creature videos. And, these are fantastic tames, everything like that. And people are like, hey, where is the TLCs? We're getting all these announcements and release dates for paid creatures. Where are the free ones? And I understand, people saying that. In next week's Community Crunch, we'll share how you can send in your suggestions for each of the upcoming TLCs. So keep an eye out. Ideas will be vetted and reviewed as part of our design process. And while we may not use them directly, your input will help shape the direction of each pass. So I kept thinking to myself, I was sitting back when I read that and I said, when did that happen? And I kept thinking, am I like recording this right now completely forgetting a massive thing that they've been doing this whole time? Because I did go to the next crunch, which was when Winter Wonderland came out, Community Crunch number 489, and I don't remember anywhere here that they posted anywhere that they are doing it, giving us a chance to be able to give our ideas. And I think, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, if Wildcard want to work on the TLCs themselves, I don't really feel like, they need that much community input from it. But when I read that, I just thought, hey, they're not doing this anymore, are they? So yeah, then anyway, they said since 2015, this community has rallied behind Extra Life with heart, humor, and genuine drive to help kids in need. Crossing the 200k mark is a reminder of what our players can achieve when survivors tribe up and rally together for something meaningful. Your generosity directly supports Children's Miracle Network hospitals and the kids and families who rely on them. Every year you show how powerful this community can be when it comes together for a cause that truly matters. While the TLC vote phase is wrapped with Megalosaurus taking the final spot, donations are still open, they're not anymore, but if you want to keep the momentum going, and they say, thank you survivors, this year has been one for the books, and we look forward to bringing all of the community-earned TLC creatures to life. Now, as a little reminder, it was the Araneo, which you guys will definitely have noticed is in the game already, the Quetz, the Giga, the Therizino, and the Megalosaurus. Now, we thought because the Araneo came up first that Wildcard were going to do this in order, but no, we found out that next it was the Rise of the Tickle Chicken, which on the 6th of June, the Therizinosaurus is next in line. But it's coming up to nearly 2 months since the creature concept was announced, and it's kind of a bit concerning, right? Because we know it's coming, but with all of the content that's coming this year, you've got to think, so in the space of the next month, we are getting potentially the Astraeus Mega update, the Galleons added to Genesis, the Concavinator is coming, which is a free creature, awesome, on the 26th of August. But the TLCs, we haven't really heard much about. So it does sort of ask the question, are they going to be able to reach the timeline of releasing all 5 of these? Because if once they release a Therizino, there's 3 to go, which I think's possible. I hope so. So anyway, to refresh your mind, the Araneo spun its way into a new era, and now another community-selected creature is stepping up for its turn for the TLC spotlight. Thanks to your Extra Life vote, the Therizinosaurus is next in line. Few creatures in ARK have earned the reputation quite like the Therizinosaurus, equal parts fiber farming machine, frontline menace, and feathery nightmare, but beloved Tickle Chicken has been a staple of survivors' lives over the years. With this TLC, we're looking to sharpen what already makes it special, given its role, feel, and personality a more modern pass, while keeping the chaotic charm that made players love it in the first place. Today, we're sharing an early look of where that work is headed, and this is just the start of the Therizino TLC journey. We'll have more to show as development continues. So, this is basically what the Therizinosaurus is going to look like, which is very exciting, and it does look super awesome. But yeah, the question is, when's it coming? Now, I personally have a guess. I have a guesstimate, which I think could potentially be the thing. So when the Burrowbuck launched, it launched alongside a TLC Araneo Spider. We now know that the fantastic tame Cerberax is coming, the 3-headed dog, which we did a video on, is coming in September. September is now literally, nearly a month away, which is crazy to say. This is getting scary. And there's a very good chance that Therizinosaur may launch alongside that. The next fantastic tames after that doesn't come out till November. So I think if they're gonna do it in a way of releasing the TLC creatures alongside, releasing them alongside the fantastic tames, that would tell us that there'd only be 3 TLCs done this year. And I know what Studio Wildcard are like, where they'd get that and they say, due to a busy year, the remaining 2 creatures will be coming in 2027. I kind of have a fear that that's going to be the case. And I think the reason why, if that happens, it would upset me is because not only did we all come together to raise an insane amount of money for charity, the best that they have ever done as a company, with over 200,000 raised, it would feel really kind of like a bit of a it would feel more painful than any other delay, because we've all come together because we're super excited, and the promises about bringing something over, doing something so special, something so special for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, to not get all 5 this year would feel wrong to me. But anyway, and I personally really want to see the Giga TLC, so that's something that, if they do say they can't make all 5, if they end up just doing 2 more for the rest of the year, I would absolutely love to see the because it'll be the Therizino and then the Giga. I know the Quets as well be so good. Fingers crossed that maybe Wildcard can just release 3 at once, because that's what they used to do back in the day, by the way, with the old, go on YouTube and type in the old TLC passes 1 and 2. Each TLC pass back then had about 4 creatures getting one. Okay, so we are in game, and we didn't decide to spawn in the Therizinosaur because we already know what it's going to look like, but we have 3 of the others. Now, I think it's very, very easy to say that this boy here has not been given the love it truly deserves. Back in the day, this was the scariest and most dangerous and most powerful creature in the world of ARK. If you're an old ARK Survival Evolved player, you will know how monstrous this thing used to be. It was the ruler of the ARK, and unfortunately we have to say these days, the Giganotosaurus, like, the Giga is just not up there anymore. The only thing that's happened to the Giga over the last 11 years is just being nerfed into the ground. Now, I'm not saying it's not usable anymore. It's definitely usable, 100%. But in terms of the way ASA creatures work nowadays and their abilities and stuff, the Giga is just like a brute tank. That's really all it's got. It's got its raw, it's got its rage, and it's got its anger. It is so outdated. When you compare it to all of the new creatures that get added to ASA, it needs a true rebrand. This thing if anyone sees this, If you haven't played ARK for years, if you play completely other games, and you see this face, you know exactly what it is. And whilst I do agree that people say, hey, but what, they're going to ruin the Giga, they're going to change the Giga, you know, it's such an iconic creature, it needs an update. And I think it will be for the best, guys. I really do. Then we have another extremely old school creature, the Megalosaurus, which we're about to wake up from its slumber and ride it. Now, the Megalosaurus is actually a very cool character. It's been something that, you know, has been in the game for an insanely long time. Obviously, you know, all the ways from the days of Aberration. And it definitely could do with some, you know, just something else special with it. You know, I've always loved its sleeping position. It's always looked like kind of cute, even though you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of one of them. But I definitely think it could look so much cooler and just move the mobility of the old creatures. I think that's something that I've really noticed with these creatures, is that the mobility of them is so clunky. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't believe the Giga should have good mobility, but I struggle to use these days because of just how sort of hard. They should be slow at turning. They should. But then at the same time, I mean, anyone who's out there is like a paleontologist or anything, you'll probably know this much better than what we do from films and stuff, because the films aren't ever correct from what I've been told. For some reason, this Quetzal isn't letting me ride it, so I just thought it's probably that we've got the wrong saddles, because when you spawn in the wrong things. But the Quetz is another one that, like, you know, the faces are just super outdated, like so outdated. I compared this in yesterday's video again to the Brachiosaurus and the Dreadnoughtus. And if we spawn in like some of the newer creatures, let's go for the Burrowbuck, right? Let's get a Burrowbuck spawned in. That's a brand new creature. Let's take a look at the face of a Burrowbuck. Now, yes, the eyes maybe look a little bit outdated, but overall, it looks like, you know, when you look at its feathers, the way its nose moves, they have, and you know, the way it blinks, the way it does everything, is so much more. Let's try and think of another one. Let's go for a Tide Pup. Let's go for a little baby Tide Pup, right? Should we go for a large one? Summon Tamed. Right, so we got a Tide Pup here, a large Tide Pup. When you compare the designs, the way it blinks, the way it does things, they are so much more, like, in date. And when you go up to the Quetzal's face, you know, I mean, actually the eye of the Quetzal doesn't look too bad, I thought. But the rest of it, when you compare it to the other ones, you go so close up to the Giga. Like, I mean, look at the way it blinks. It's just extremely outdated. So, as much as they're so iconic, these creatures, and they've been around since I was 15 or 16 years old, you know, like, you guys were much younger as well when this game first launched, of course, but, they do need a rebrand, they need a change, and I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, what do you want for them? Where do you see their future in the game? And I can't wait to see how the Therizino is going to look, and I hope that does come in very soon. I'm very confident that's going to be September, but will we see these three change within the rest of 2026? The cards are all in your side, Wildcard, and hopefully we'll hear something. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.